Hey friends, we're going to talk about something that is a little more personal today and more about my story and Chris's and my story in the way that we've chosen to live. Hopefully you will find it encouraging, inspiring, entertaining, probably a little bit weird. I don't know. Here we go. Hey guys, I'm Steph from cheapskatecook.com and welcome to my kitchen. We're not going to be cooking today. Instead, I'm going to answer a question and we're going to kind of spring that into part of mine and Chris's story. So we currently are a family of 5. So there's me and Chris and our 3 boys who are not little kids. They're like getting older. We live in a 2-bedroom townhouse that's about 1,200 square feet. And it's not because we are desperate, it's not because we're renting, and it's not because we live in a big city where this is the norm. Like, we live in an area where most people at this point in life have a home in the suburbs and a yard and a dog and that's the norm where we live. But here we are. If you like where this video is going and you want to hear more of our story, hit the like and subscribe button. We chose to buy our little 2-bedroom townhouse while we had 3 kids and a good job and a stable income, and this is the decision that we made. And that's because we wanted to own our home outright and not pay any mortgage. And I know that that's not everybody's thing. It was a decision that we made for us because it lines up with our values, and Chris and I are both kind of competitive, and so this was kind of like a challenge that we had given each other when we were first married and dead broke and just trying to figure out life. We were like, wouldn't it be cool if we worked really hard and we did this? And then 10 years later, that's exactly what we did. And so there's a little bit of just like personal, like, yeah, we did it kind of feeling associated with this, even though it's not super convenient to live in a townhouse with 3 kids, especially 3 wild boys who would really appreciate a yard. So today I want to encourage you in hearing our story to really embrace your story and what your goals are for your finances, for the choices that you make in your life as far as money is concerned. There are a couple of reasons why we chose a townhouse. First was the no mortgage thing. This is what we could afford in our area with the money that we had on hand. And so even though it wasn't our ideal, we chose to look at it as a stepping stone because we were going from paying rent every month and not owning anything to owning a home outright. And so that was going to free up our income. It was going to give us like a place where we felt settled, even if it was going to be temporary, because we knew that we would have to move from here eventually. And I know that you can get a mortgage and just work really hard to pay it off early. And I think that's an amazing thing to do. This is just our story and the choices that we made. And I will say that after 10 years of renting and buying a home outright, I cried like a baby the first 20 times I drove to this house to do repairs and paint and all that stuff, because I just couldn't believe that we did it. And that was one of the big milestones in my head where I was like, this was a good decision. We didn't know if it was going to be a good decision, and that's a lot of money to try to save up, and so, you know, like, are we just being ridiculous? But there was that moment that I can look back and say, like, this is an amazing feeling. This was totally worth it. The second reason why we chose to live in a small townhome is because we don't have a lot of stuff. So even though we are 5 people, and that's a lot of bodies to fit into a house in an area of the world where 5 people usually occupy a much larger space, we just don't own that much. And it's not because we're intentionally minimalist. We were minimalist before it was trendy. Like, if you just take out all the succulents and all of the Scandinavian decor and just replace it with 2 broke kids who are living in a shed in someone's backyard, that's what we were. That's how we were minimalist. We just didn't own things. And over the years, when we come to a decision about whether we're going to purchase something, keeping our house smaller helps us prioritize owning only the things that we really, really love. So we have stuff and we love our stuff. We just don't have a lot of extra of it. And for our family, it helps us save time on cleaning, it helps us keep our house really organized, and it helped us save a ton of money because when it came to buying a house, we didn't have to buy a bigger house. We knew that we could comfortably fit our family and what was important to us in a smaller space. One of the things that Chris said when we were reevaluating some of the decisions that we were going to be making in the future, I think this is when I was pregnant with our third child. And at that point we were living in a 750 square foot house. And I was trying to wrap my mind around having 3 small kids in the space. One of the things that Chris said was, upsizing is easy, downsizing is a lot harder. So we could totally upsize, but if something happens down the road or we make some decisions, downsizing is a lot more work than upsizing. And so even though we could have moved from that little space, we knew that if we could make it work, it was worth it to just make it work. The third reason why we moved to a 2-bedroom townhome for our family of 5 is because this is what worked for us in the season that we're in. I think it's really easy to make assumptions about what your life is supposed to look like by comparing yourself to other people. So does it feel weird to have been married for 13 years and have 3 kids, all of them, like, they're not little babies anymore, they're like getting older, and to have stable jobs and to not have the size house or the amount of stuff that most people in our stage of life have? Yeah, it feels a little weird. Sometimes I feel like I have to explain myself, like in YouTube videos. But the reality is that you only have to make decisions for your family. What is right for your family at the time. And it's okay if that's not gonna work for other people. And it's okay if it's way different from decisions that other people are making. But what's going to work for your family right now? In our next home, we would love to have a guest bedroom, we would love to have more land, and we're actively working towards that. But right now, we really love our home. We love owning our home outright. And because that decision excites us, we're willing to make the sacrifices. This was just one of many weird decisions that Chris and I made in our marriage and in our life together. And so it kind of lined up with everything else. Like, this was not the first weird decision that we made. Like, when we were first married, we took our savings, quit our jobs, which we're not going anywhere anyway, and moved to Europe for 2 months. My husband is Greek and he has family over there, and we just got to know the family and we got to know the culture, and it was amazing. Was it a great financial career, that kind of decision? Like, actually, I think it was awesome because that's what worked for us at the time. We had the money to pay for it, we didn't have kids at the time, and it was something that we still stand by, and we're like, that was really fun. We're really glad that we did that. So I want to encourage you in your saving money, eating healthy journey to start thinking about what works for you and to realize that that's not always going to work for other people, and there's no one size fits all here. So what decision can you make today that is going to care for you and your family and what your goals are and what your values are, and work towards that? And it's okay if it doesn't work for someone else or there's not a lot of other people doing it. If you'd like to share your decision, then drop a comment below and let me know, because I am cheering for you and I am here for you. I want to encourage you to save money and eat healthy, even though we didn't talk about that a whole lot in this video. I kind of tried something different here. If you liked it, please let me know in the comments whether or not I should keep sharing more of our story. And if you didn't like it, let me know there too. I'm Steph from cheapskatecook.com. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you found this story interesting, entertaining, just a little peek into our weird world. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will talk to you again later. Buy our 1,200 square foot tone home. This is a home that we chose to bought.